Part 6, Lebanon Correctional War Stories. So I just got, done talking about the last part. I went and finished what they asked me to do. Shit truck came with me. It felt good to be done with that. They gave me a bowl for my fucking G-Day, they call it, on my birthday. They was mad that I didn't tell them it was my birthday, really, to violate me, which showed that they actually cared. There was a lot of structure at this joint, and there was so many of us rocking out tough, and I liked it. And yeah, it was dope. Like there was 21 of us, and they had it going the way it's supposed to be ran. Like everything was correctly. And I'm not gonna be able to name them all right off the top of my head, but I'm gonna just try some. It'd be like me, Shit Truck, TYG, Six, Diego, Mike G, the other Mike G, Yuck Mouth, Wicked, uh, Country, uh, Dub, Fresh. Them is just, them are just some of them. Sonic, but he ain't last that long. 2-6. That's just some of the people. Ghost. I'm not gonna sit here and try to keep remembering all of them. It probably would come back to me eventually. So after all of that, eventually I had to do another thing. TK was his name, and I've said before, I don't mind talking about stories with names if it's not gonna bring somebody extra charges. That's the only time that I'm not gonna fucking ever talk about something with names. I leave them out. Like there was a story recently, not too long ago, from Richland. I remembered their fucking names. I got such a good memory. I remembered the dude's fucking Cash App when I was telling the story about how dude was running shit in the block and he got robbed by some dudes and shit. I just use that as an example that I got a good ass memory. But if, like I said, I'm not gonna, for one, anybody could just come on here and tell stories and people be from Ohio and be like, it sounds like a good story, but it could be fake. You know what I'm saying? With mine, like 80% of them, people know people. So whether it's good or bad on my part, I'ma still fucking say it how it is, so motherfuckers go, oh, okay, I know who they are, like who he's talking about. And I've already put dirt on my own name for the dumb shit that I did when I was strung out and shit. Like I talked about that in the last couple videos. Owing people money, constantly walking around with a black eye, checking in. That shit ain't cool. But it made me stronger. It made me realize my rights and my wrongs. Would I ever do that shit again? No, absolutely not. But it's been a learning experience. It's whatever. And I ain't never going back to prison for me to ever have to decide that anyways. I've been on both ends of that shit. I've had the whole block owing me money, doing good, working out, almost 200 pounds, feeling like the man, all the way to the opposite of that, being strung out, having my fucking woman, my brother, my cousins, friends, my mom, everybody sending me money and shit for fucking commissary, clothes boxes, TVs that I end up selling because I'm so strung out. I told y'all I ain't got no filter. I'm gonna keep it real. I've done both. So there, you know what I'm saying? That's just me keeping it real. So now that I got that part out the way with the names thing, because I want y'all to understand that's for future references too. Anytime, I'm not gonna mention anything that could bring somebody into any kind of trouble. So as time goes on, everything's smooth. We had they showed me immediately that we move as one. So when the doors pop, because right here, this is one of the blocks right here. This is before they put, this is old though. This is before they put tables, TVs, kiosks, phones, anything in the block. It's just a wide open range. But really all of them things are in the block. When these doors will pop though, everybody will hang out, like in all these areas and wait for everybody. And they call it moving as one. When I first got there, to E. Edward, I made 21, so it was 21 of us moving together and close. We're right up on each other, but you gotta move as one vibe without stepping on each other's feet. And you're real close to each other though, so it's kind of like hard, but after a while you get the hang of it. And then if you know, if you've been there, you got these lines you gotta walk on, right? And you pass other blocks and other groups and you'll see like our guys, and everybody will throw up L's and staffs and everything, our little doing our 1-2 and saying certain phrases to each other and shit. But the whole time You can't cross that. So you see people, you might know somebody that your family be down there a whole year, but you can only see them that way because it's a disciplinary camp. So everything is designated. I mentioned all that to say how we had a third chow hall mandatory thing. There's three chow halls there, just like there's three segregation holes there because it's so big. It's supposed to hold 3,000 inmates, and it usually holds more or something like that. But so we go to that third because it's mandatory in case something happens. Everything's going good. Shit trucks shooting tattoos on all of us for free, even though we would give him stuff like whether he wanted money, food, cash app, substances, OJ, tune, anything like that. Strip and shit. He would say no, but then we'd end up blessing him anyways because he would just shoot tattoos on us. Yuck Mouth shot tattoos too. Me and him ended up falling out. I'm gonna go into all that. So okay, so I guess I could fast forward to this part. I think I've talked about all this before. I want to squeeze this in real quick, so I'm gonna have to do another part right after this. I was in the hole and I was doing 29 days for something else that I was about to talk about actually. And I get this dude comes in, right? And his name was Philly, but he's from Philadelphia. So any of y'all who was down there will know who I'm talking about. Dude was a fucking nutcase for real. He had grapes on his record, prison record. He had a thing where he unalived somebody on his prison record. He fucking no one wanted to live with him because they were scared to live with him and go to sleep because he was always talking about weird shit and doing weird shit. He was on all these pen pal sites. He'd go around and just show people stacks of letters from 15, 20 years ago because he's been locked up like 30 years. And then he got homesick tattooed across his knuckles. And yeah, he would show people that. He'd be like, yeah, I've been locked up since 1990, whatever, like 3 or something. And then he'd show you his knuckles and be like, I'm homesick. So he was just a little bit off, but he was a fucking psychopath. Well, he ends up he's coming in hooting and hollering. And while that's taking place, me and my bunkies like trying to figure out what's going on. They put him in the cell next to us. Before that though, there was a signal through where even staff from the hole ran out, which we knew something really bad happened. It's because he tried to unalive his bunkie, and he thought he did. He hit him like 30 times with a homemade, you know what? Because that dude's told some people in the block, I gotta get this dude the fuck up out of here. I'm scared to sleep in there with him. And they had only been in there like 5 days together. Well, he heard that shit. So he waited till they locked down, went in there, hit him up a bunch of times. And they were at the door trying to open it up. And he's looking up telling them, this is what y'all get for not putting me in a level 4. I told you to put me in a level 4. Is this what I got to do to get wrote out? So this is coming from staff telling us this, like, after. So they come, he comes in the hole. Now he's in there telling us too himself, bragging about it. Like, yeah, I just took dude out of out of here. Yup, he's a goner, and he's telling us just so calm. Mind you, he just got pushed in with another person. They didn't make him a level 4 right away. They took him from that situation and pushed him in the room with another person. So that's how fucked up Lebanon is. You would think after what they just seen happen, he would go in a single man cell. No, they put him in right next to us. And imagine what that dude's fucking thinking. He was talking for days and days, talking through the window, under the door. Right now, he ain't saying shit. He's just over there being quiet. Well, the CO comes to the door and tells him like, uh, he said, as of now, dude's still alive, and you better hope he does, and this and that. And he's like, what do I got to lose, and this and that. And he's like, man, he's just telling him like, you're making your bid harder on yourself. He's like, no, I wanted to move, and you guys wouldn't move me. They ended up riding him out like he wanted. Like not long after he got wrote out to a level 4. Anybody who was there from 22 to 23, you might know Philly. I want to say this, yeah, he lived in A Adam at that time. He lived in A Adam. But that dude was fucked up, and that was crazy because the calmness in his voice was scary, like for real. To hear how he talked about this situation with what he just did to this dude, but the dude ended up living. I've done other stories on Casey Pidge. He tried to be Ohio's first serial unaliver. He did get like I think what 3 in Ohio prisons plus his girlfriend's mom, something like that. Part 7 next.